Hello, everyone. Let's see if it's starting. Yes. Technology seems to work today. That's good. If it's yeah, excellent. How are y'all going? How's Thursday been today? Is it good? In Melbourne, it was sunny but super cold. So if you're here, come and say hi. If you're new to this group, welcome. Lovely to have you here with us. If you see this later on replay, #replay, so I know you've watched that. I'm going live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Australia Eastern Standard Time. Tag your friends who struggle with lack of confidence, anxiety, fear, or self-doubt. Invite them to this group so they can get this training as well. If you don't know me, I'm 𝐬𝐸𝐸. I'm a trauma therapist who helps female equestrians all across Australia to become confident riders by overcoming fear, anxiety, and self-doubt. So do you feel motivated to watch this video today? I hope you do, because today we're diving into the topic that I've struggled with and almost every rider I work with faces at some point. And that is about self-doubt, motivation, and procrastination. Yay! So whether it's second-guessing your ability or comparing yourself to others or wondering if you'll ever get back to where you once were, self-doubt can creep in very quietly, affecting our motivation to ride, and suddenly it feels like it's running the whole show, right? Excuse me. So if you've been through a fall, a setback, or even just a long break from riding, you might know exactly what I mean. So today, I want to explore why self-doubt shows up, and more importantly, how we can begin to move through it with compassion, curiosity, and confidence. So I'd like to ask you something. In which situation do you find yourself doubting your ability as a rider? I'm going to read 5 statements. So comment below 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you resonate with any of it. Okay, so in which situation do you doubt your ability? Number 1, is it when you are thinking about getting back in the saddle? Number 2, is it when you are standing at the mounting block? Number 3, is it when you are heading out on the trail? Number 4, is it when you are riding in front of others? Number 5, is it after a spook or an unexpected moment? Let me know in the comment. Type 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or all of them. Okay, so let's be clear. Self-doubt is not a flaw. It's a protective response, often rooted in past experience, where it wasn't safe to trust yourself, your body, or the people around you. Maybe you were criticized a lot growing up. Maybe you had a fall or a scary ride and no one supported you afterward. Maybe someone told you to get over it or stop being dramatic when you were actually really scared. And over time, those messages become internalized. Your nervous system learns, well, if I doubt myself, maybe I'll avoid danger or embarrassment or getting hurt again. I'll give you an example. A woman I work with grew up in a very challenging environment. She approached me to help her understand why she's doubting her horse. She was worried she wasn't good enough for him or that she would somehow mess things up. So during a session, we gently explore where that self-doubt came from. What we uncovered was that throughout her life, she had experienced moments where she was left to make big decisions on her own, without support, without guidance. And she was very young too. She learned to carry that weight of responsibility, feeling that if she didn't get it right, everything will fall apart. Who can resonate with that? Type me if you had similar experience. And that kind of pressure doesn't just disappear, it stays in the nervous system and shows up later as anxiety, confusion, self-doubt. even around the horse. So with the help of gentle somatic techniques, we worked together to process those old fears and patterns. She was finally able to release some of that pressure and begin rebuilding trust in herself, not just as a rider, but as a person. You see, when we grow up in an environment where we didn't feel emotionally supported, whether it was a critical parent, a distant sibling, or constant pressure to do better, we often internalize the belief that we're not good enough. And as children, especially in the first 7 years, we naturally try to earn love and approval. We people please, we try harder, we make ourselves smaller. And when that still doesn't bring the connection we long for, we assume the problem must be us. So our body just wants to feel safe, supported, connected. But when those needs aren't met, the nervous system draws a painful conclusion: there must be something wrong with me. And this is how self-doubt and shame take root, because our emotional needs weren't met. And here's the thing, those deep-rooted beliefs like I'm not good enough, they don't just stay in childhood, they follow us, they show up in adulthood, and they especially show up in the saddle. Suddenly, it's not just about riding, it's about proving your worth. It's about feeling like you have to get it right, or else you have failed. You start to doubt your instincts. You question whether you're too soft or too slow or too nervous. You compare yourself to other riders and wonder, why can't I just be more like them? But what's really happening is your nervous system is replaying old stories, the one that were never yours to carry. I'll give you another example. I'm working with a woman who constantly compares herself to others, starting from the ground before she even gets into the saddle. She's been stuck in a cycle of seeking approval from those around her, trying to follow everyone else's advice, feeling overwhelmed, but as we know, many methods or opinions in the horse world, right? So as a result, she's been feeling confused and full of self-doubt. She's questioning her ability to support her horse and ride with confidence. So we began by exploring the moments when she felt unsure or disconnected from her instincts. And we gently processed those experiences together. And while we were still working through it, she's already starting to build trust in herself, learning to listen to her inner voice and believe that she can find the right path for herself and for her horse. So maybe your self-doubt didn't start at the saddle at all. Maybe it began in the moment that someone laughed at you when you were trying your best. Maybe in a classroom or at social gatherings. Maybe it was the look of disapproval from a parent or a nasty comment from a classmate. The moment you raised your hand or showed up fully and got shut down, judged, or dismissed. So these moments imprint on us. And even if they had nothing to do with horses, your body remembers. So now when you are at a competition or someone's watching you, even from the fence, or even when your coach is giving you feedback, that old feeling comes rushing back. And self-doubt can be sneaky. It might sound like, what if I mess this up? Maybe I'm not cut out for this. So everyone else is doing better than me. Or my horse deserves someone more confident. I hear that a lot. Or it might show up physically, like tensing up before a ride or struggling to make decision in the moment, freezing on the mounting block, holding your breath without realizing it. Which one resonates with you, by the way? Let me know in the comments below. It might even stop you from riding altogether, not because you don't love it, but because the voice of fear has gotten louder than the voice of desire. Suddenly, it's not about the horse, it's about being seen and feeling not enough. And that tightness in your chest, that nervous energy in your hands, that urge to disappear, rush, or prove yourself, it's not just performance nerves. It's your nervous system responding to a past moment that felt unsafe, embarrassing, or painful. And this is where my trauma-informed support becomes essential. Because riding with confidence isn't just about learning techniques. It's about healing the parts of you that still believe you are not good enough, even though you are good enough. You're just responding to something that once mattered deeply and likely still does. So the good news is that you can change this pattern. You can learn to feel safe being seen again, to rebuild your self-trust, and to ride from a place of connection and not performance. And that's what our work together is all about. So if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, no amount of positive thinking will get you into the saddle confidently. When we doubt ourselves, we often push harder or give up altogether. By the way, another options really helps, because true confidence isn't about pretending you're not scared. It's about being able to support yourself when fear shows up. So if you want to learn more about how to support yourself when fear shows up, comment fear and I'll reach out to you. When we doubt ourselves, we often try to procrastinate. But did you know there are 2 types of procrastination? And I'd like to ask you something. Raise your hand or comment below if you actually enjoy cleaning your horse's paddock. Or comment the word paddock if you like to do that task. For most of us, that task doesn't exactly spark joy, right? That brings me to the first kind of procrastination. It's task-based procrastination. This is when we put something off simply because we don't like it. We're not interested. We find it boring or it feels stressful. So we delay. Why? Because we all have a personal hierarchy of values. When a task doesn't align with those values, it's like trying to pour energy into a leaky bucket. It just doesn't stick. So if you go back to the paddock, let's say I don't have the funds to pay someone else to clean it, and I don't like it. But then someone explained to me that keeping it clean helps my horse's health. Might be fewer worms or fewer flies or less risk of an eye infection. Okay, so now that's different, right? Suddenly it aligns with something I deeply care about, my horse's well-being. I still don't love cleaning, but my motivation shifts because the task now connects with my values. Does that make sense? So that's the first kind of procrastination. Let's talk about the second type, and this is a bit deeper. This one, it's not about disinterest, it's about protection. So this type of procrastination is an adaptive survival response. It often comes from earlier life experience, times when taking action felt unsafe or overwhelming or emotionally costly. And this is not a flaw. It's your nervous system doing its best to protect you. So instead of judging it, I'd like you to say or to ask, what is this procrastination trying to do for me? What is it helping me to avoid? For many women I work with, the answer is usually fear. Fear of failing, fear of falling, fear of being judged, or getting hurt, or letting their horse down. Fear that if they do right, something will go wrong. So the body steps in and says, let's just not do that at all. That's procrastination acting as a shield, keeping you in your comfort zone because it feels safer there. And here's where it gets even more trickier. There are often 3 parts that contribute to this trauma-based procrastination. So part 1 is the perfectionist part. And this part wants everything to be just right. You want your ride to be flawless, especially when others are watching or judging, like in a competition or clinic. That need for perfection often stems from early experiences where being good enough didn't feel safe or wasn't accepted. Okay, so then we have number 2, which is the anxious part, where perfection creates pressure. You feel overwhelmed, you're worried you'll mess up, scared of being judged or rejected, and that anxiety builds and starts to feel unbearable. And the last one, number 3, is the procrastinator. And this part steps in to relieve the anxiety. And it says, let's just not go there. It keeps you safe by avoiding the ride or the event or the next step, even if it means staying stuck. So if you ever wondered why you delay or hesitate or struggle to get moving, even when you really want to ride, this might be why. Procrastination is a pattern your nervous system learned to survive. And by the way, which part out of those 3 resonate with you most? 1, 2, or 3? So we've got the procrastinator, we've got the anxiety, and we've got the perfectionist, I meant. The anxious and the procrastinator. Very confusing, they're all with P. So comment 1, 2, or 3 if you experience any of those and you can resonate with that. As you know, with awareness, compassion, and the right support, you can unlearn that pattern. You can stop battling yourself. You can start building real sustainable confidence in and out of the saddle. That's basically the goal of our private session together. And here's something else we don't talk about enough. Over time, self-doubt starts to erode your motivation. Not because you don't love your horse or you're lazy, but because riding no longer feels safe or enjoyable. You might catch yourself making excuses like, I'll ride tomorrow, or I'm too tired today, or it's too windy, or I'm too busy. And self-doubt might lead to lack of motivation, and it doesn't just mean fewer rides. Over time, it can quietly convince you to settle, to live with the discomfort rather than move through it. So instead of finding ways to feel safer and more supported in the saddle, you start accepting the fear, the tension, the avoidance as your new normal. So you might say things like, maybe I'm not meant to ride anymore. This is probably the best it's going to get. Or I should just be grateful I can still be around horses. And while those thoughts may seem practical or even protective, they're often coming from a deeper place of resignation, a part of you that no longer believes change is possible. So by the way, I made a video about how fear affects us in this present moment and in the long term. If you want the recording, just comment video and I'll send you the link. When your system senses potential danger, even if it's emotional, like fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of repeating a bad experience, it doesn't encourage you to move forward. It pulls the brakes. It makes you procrastinate. It creates confusion, or it simply shuts you down altogether. And that freeze response that sounds like, maybe not today, feeling that constant delay or avoidance, it's your body saying, this doesn't feel safe yet, let's not go there. And that's something I see often with the women I work with. They deeply care about their horses. They want to ride again, but they feel flat, unmotivated, drained. And when we go a little deeper, we often discover underneath that lack of motivation is a layer of fear, of pressure, or an old story that says, you will fail again, so why bother? If you can resonate with that, comment resonate below. When lack of motivation appears, rather than push harder, which only adds more pressure, what you actually need is support, safety, and a new way of relating to that fear. There's often lack of motivation covering up something deeper. Could be fear, shame, the pressure to be perfect, the fear of failing again. So here's the cycle. You feel self-doubt. You avoid the writing, you feel guilty, and the self-doubts just grows. Does that make sense? And that guilt doesn't motivate you either. It weighs you down. And the more you avoid it, the harder it becomes to reconnect with the joy that brought you to the horses in the first place. I'll give you an example. I worked with a woman who had made very conscious decision to take things slowly with her horse, which I love, by the way. She felt good about it. Her horse was happy and it felt like the right path forward. She truly believed that by going slow, she'd naturally build the connection, the confidence, which eventually would help her to move past her fear. There was no pressure or judgment in her choice. But then someone casually asked her, "Do you want to go for a ride?" And she felt this sharp pinch in her chest. That physical response told her something her mind hadn't fully admitted. She was still scared. The fall she had last year hadn't just shaken her body, it's shaking her sense of safety. That's when she started to realize, well, she was genuinely wanted to do what was best for her horse. Taking it slow had also become a way to avoid facing that fear. Not because she wasn't trying, but because her nervous system still wasn't ready. So we started to build a sense of safety in her body, to understand more about her fear. And at the end of the session, she wanted to ride again. Her passion for riding growing every day, actually. I speak with her quite often. So if you find that you procrastinate or you lost your motivation to ride, here are 3 tips that might help you. So number 1, I'd like you to get curious, not critical. When self-doubt shows up or when you find an excuse not to ride today, I'd like you to ask, what is this part trying to protect me from? And don't shut it down. Don't bully yourself into being braver or find the answer. That only creates more fear. Stay curious. Number 2 is practice safety, not just performance. Give yourself permission to not do a full ride. Maybe you just stand with your horse. Maybe you breathe next to the mounting block. The goal isn't the ride, it's how you feel in your body. Number 3 is to use tools that reconnect you, like nervous system regulation, grounding techniques, body-based practices are not really quick fixes, but they do work. And they build the foundation for lasting confidence. Also, by the way, I've created a pre-ride checklist that will help you feel safe in your body before the ride without the pressure, and you can download it for free. I'll leave the link in the comments as well. So remember, we can gently teach our body how to feel safe again. We can also teach it how to feel joy again without fear, without guilt. This is quite powerful work and it's possible. And the goal is not to get over it, but to gently find your way back to the joy, the connection, and the confidence you know is still inside you. So if you're ready to stop procrastinating and start enjoying your rides again, book your free consultation. Comment the word ready and I'll reach out to you. So together we'll map out a path forward, one that feels safe, doable, and aligned with your goals. A plan that will allow you to move forward and enjoy your ride again. So comment the word ready if you're ready to take the next step. And if you want to see more of this video, they are located in the guides tab in our group. And if you can't find it, send me a message and I'll be happy to help you out or send you the links. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next Thursday.